You're cramped inside your mother's womb at a pharmaceutical company in San Francisco, which already sounds like the worst possible start to any life story. Your mom, Bright Eyes, spends her days getting poked with needles full of experimental brain juice, while scientists in lab coats scribble notes about her every move. She's basically a living science fair project, and guess what? You're getting all that enhanced brain serum pumped straight into your developing system. Congrats, you're genetically modified before you even take your first breath. The moment you pop out, chaos erupts. Your mom goes full protective mama bear mode during what should have been a boring PowerPoint presentation about Alzheimer's cures. She smashes through glass, terrorizes a boardroom full of executives, and gets herself shot dead by security, all because she wanted to protect you. So, within minutes of being born, you're an orphan with a dead mom, and a bunch of terrified humans who want every chimp in the building euthanized. Welcome to the world, kid. Some nervous lab tech finds you clinging to your mother's corpse and can't bring himself to put you down. He shoves you into the arms of Will Rodman, the scientist responsible for turning your mom into a genius. Will takes one look at your big eyes and decides to smuggle you home in his jacket. You've gone from lab experiment to a legal house pet in less than 24 hours. At least the commute was short. You spend your first few years thinking you're just a hairy human with really long arms. Will teaches you sign language faster than most kids learn to tie their shoes. By age 3, you're solving puzzles that would stump college students and signing complex sentences, while other chimps your age are still figuring out which end of a banana to peel. You wear clothes, eat at the dinner table, and sleep in an actual bed. Your adoptive grandpa Charles treats you like his actual grandson, reading you bedtime stories about Julius Caesar. Oh look, that's where your name comes from. How prophetic. The attic becomes your personal jungle gym where you swing from the rafters and build elaborate structures. But something feels off when you look out the window and see regular kids playing in the street. They don't have fur, they don't need leashes when they go outside, and their parents definitely don't have to hide them from animal control. You start asking questions that Will really doesn't want to answer. Where did you come from? Why are you different? Are you a pet or a person? Will takes you to Muir Woods to let you climb real trees. And for a few hours, everything makes sense. You're soaring through redwoods, feeling the wind in your fur, doing what your body was designed to do. Then you have to put the leash back on and return to suburbia. Talk about mixed messages. You're smart enough to understand quantum physics, but legally classified as an exotic pet. No pressure or anything. By age 5, you're helping Charles with his Alzheimer's, reminding him where he put his glasses and making sure he takes his medication. You're basically a furry home healthcare aide who doesn't get paid. The neighbors give you weird looks when you're in the yard. That jerk Hunsiker next door keeps calling animal control about the dangerous wild animal living next door. Buddy, if only you knew how dangerous you could actually be. Everything goes sideways when you hit 8 years old. Hunsiker starts harassing Charles, who's having a bad day with his illness. The old man's confused, accidentally damaging Hunsiker's car, and this grown man is screaming at him. Something snaps inside you. Years of being treated like a pet. Years of pretending to be less than you are. Years of watching humans look down on you despite being smarter than most of them. You vault through the window and bite off Hunsiker's finger. Turns out you've got your mother's protective instincts after all. The courts don't care that you were defending family. To them, you're just another aggressive animal that needs to be put down or locked up. Will manages to keep you alive, but the price is banishment to San Bruno primate shelter. You go from a loving home with your own bedroom to a concrete cage surrounded by traumatized apes who've never known kindness. The handlers treat you like garbage, hosing you down with freezing water and feeding you slop that wouldn't pass for prison food. The alpha chimp, Rocket, wants to establish dominance over the new guy. You've never had to fight another ape before. All those years of civilization get stripped away real fast when someone's trying to bite your face off. You learn the brutal pecking order of captive apes, while Dodge, the sadistic handler, takes special pleasure in showing you who's boss with his cattle prod. Every night you sign to yourself in the dark, planning your escape. But something changes as you watch the other apes. Maurice, an old circus orangutan, knows sign language too. Buck, a massive gorilla, has been here so long he's given up hope. These aren't just animals. They're prisoners, just like you. And unlike the humans who put you here, they eventually accept you as one of their own. You start teaching them sign language, sharing your intelligence like your mother unknowingly shared hers with you. The night you discover the window in your cage can be unlocked from the inside, everything shifts. You could leave right now, go back to Will, pretend this never happened. Instead, you break into Will's house, steal canisters of the new improved brain gas ALZ-113, and head back to the shelter. If one enhanced ape can cause this much trouble, imagine what 100 could do. You release the gas in the shelter, watching your fellow ape's eyes light up with newfound intelligence. Rocket, who once tried to kill you, now signs friend with tears in his eyes. When Dodge comes at you with his cattle prod one last time, you grab it mid-swing. The look on his face when you speak your first word, no, is priceless. That shock turns to terror when he realizes every ape in the facility just heard you talk. The revolution starts with a mass jailbreak. You free every ape in San Bruno, then hit the zoo and every lab in the city. Your army swells from dozens to hundreds as you march through San Francisco. Humans scatter like roaches when the lights turn on. Police show up with their guns and riot gear, thinking they're dealing with escaped animals. They're not prepared for apes using tactics, working together, turning their own weapons against them. The Battle of the Golden Gate Bridge becomes your crossing of the Rubicon. Cops set up barricades, thinking they can contain you. You send gorillas straight up the support cables while orangutans swing beneath the bridge. Chimps ride horses they've commandeered from mounted police. It's complete chaos, as humans realize they're not dealing with random animals, but an organized army led by a strategic genius. When the smoke clears, you've won. The humans retreat, and you lead your people into the redwood forest. You establish an ape colony in Muir Woods, building a whole civilization from scratch. Humans are too busy dying from the simian flu that accidentally got released from the same lab that created you. Turns out the brain gas that makes apes smarter kills humans slowly and painfully. Whoops. Within a decade, human civilization collapses, while your ape society flourishes. You've got schools where young apes learn sign language, laws that everyone follows, and a council that makes decisions together. It's everything human society claimed to be but never actually was. You marry Cornelia, have 2 sons, Blue Eyes and Cornelius, and try to build something better than what came before. Ape not kill ape becomes your highest law, but maintaining paradise is harder than creating it. Koba, another lab ape who was tortured for years, can't let go of his hatred for humans. He thinks you're weak for showing mercy to human survivors. The fractures in your society start small but grow wider with each passing year. When a group of human survivors stumbles into your territory, everything you've built threatens to crumble. Koba shoots you, frames the humans, and starts a war you never wanted. You survive, barely, but now you're fighting on 2 fronts. Against humans who want their planet back, and against apes who think violence is the only answer. Your own son questions your leadership until he sees Koba's true nature. By then, it's too late. The damage is done. War comes whether you want it or not. A human colonel who's gone full Colonel Kurtz murders your wife and eldest son in cold blood. The same compassion that made you spare humans now feels like weakness as you stare at their bodies. You send your people to find a new home while you go on a revenge mission that would make John Wick jealous. Except instead of fighting over a dog, you're fighting over the future of 2 species. You end up captured, forced to build a wall for the colonel who killed your family. Your people are enslaved, working without food or water. The colonel monologues about how the simian flu is mutating, making humans mute and primitive. He'd rather kill every infected human than see humanity devolve. The irony of him becoming infected himself is chef's kiss perfect. You could kill him as he begs for mercy, but you leave his gun just out of reach. Let him make his own choice. An avalanche triggered by a rival human army buries the entire military base. You barely escape, wounded and exhausted, leading your people on one final exodus. After days of traveling, you finally reach the promised land. A pristine valley where apes can live free, where your son Cornelius can grow up without fear. Your people celebrate as they explore their new home, but you can barely stand. That wound from the colonel's soldier isn't healing. You collapse by a tree, overlooking the valley. Maurice, your oldest friend, sits beside you as your breathing gets shallow. You've done it. Your people are safe. They're free. The torch is passed to the next generation. As your vision fades, watching young apes play in their new paradise, you realize the cosmic joke of your entire existence. You were created by humans trying to cure their own mortality, and ended up being the cure for the planet's human problem. Suddenly, Will appears, because apparently dying apes get hallucinations of their adoptive fathers. He's probably going to say something profound about destiny or forgiveness, but all you can think is how this whole mess started because some pharmaceutical company couldn't spring for better security cameras in their lab. Maybe if they'd just invested in a decent daycare for employees' pets, Bright Eyes would still be alive, and you'd be eating bananas in the jungle instead of dying as the Moses of monkeys. But, hey, at least you're not stuck in middle management at Gen-Wise, wearing a tie and pretending to care about quarterly earnings reports, silver linings, right? You close your eyes one last time, and somewhere in the distance, you swear you can hear Charlton Heston screaming about damning dirty apes to hell.